So I've chosen another sunny day to show you around the sixth and final one of our tiny home cabins. We've got 6 altogether, dotted around the edge of the meadow. I will redo these again in the sunnier months, you know, the summer when all the wildflowers are out, because it looks absolutely gorgeous. But meanwhile, for other tours around our other cabins, you can see previous vlog episodes. So here's Keith, you can see behind me. All the other cabins are called things like Ailey and Silver and Hooger, and then we've got Keith. And we did that because we wanted to pay a little tribute to our architect, Keith Cunningham. And up in discussions of names, we sort of joked and said, well, all the others have got such poncy names, we should call this one Dave. And then we thought, well, let's call it Keith, after Keith. So here we are. I've said before that Keith is up for selling plans or designing tiny homes for other people. He's not very good on social media. He doesn't have a lot of that sort of stuff. So give me a message if you want his contact details. He's old school. He'll do proper drawings and all. Anyway, back to the job in hand. Here is Keith. So welcome to Tiny Home Keith. It's an amazing shape, this cabin, isn't it? With a cantilevered bedroom. I think you'd say mono pitch. I'll drop in some pictures of Keith in sunnier days so you can see what it looks like. We'll have a look round inside. Keith is on the end of the line of the tinies. Let's have a little whiz round while I walk along. You can see Kindred, Seorsa, or Sersha. Silver there with his little tiny silver hot tub. Hooger and Ailey. Plenty of space between each of them. It's something that gets commented on actually quite a lot. So here we are. While we're looking at the outside, oh, it's quite wet on the meadow, I don't want to get too muddy. So you can see this is a mono pitch design. It's like half an A-frame really. Quite a steep rake to it with cedar cladding and black wriggly tin roof. And the lovely, amazing chimney there, which looks really dramatic from the other side. See if I can zoom out a bit. There we go. We've still got some outdoor furniture because getting the odd look today. It's sunny, isn't it? You could sit outside for a coffee. It goes from one extreme to the other. We've had so much rain, can't tell you. Yeah, let's keep looking around on the outside. You can see how dramatic this cabin is. There's a nice angle. Solar panels. And our cabins, maybe this is a good time to talk about it. We're on very clay soil here. And this shingle is here, acts like drainage, so the water runs down. They don't have a gutter as such. The water runs down and drains through the shingle. And all the cabins are made on concrete piles. We didn't necessarily want to use concrete, being an eco business, but really it was the only thing. And we thought they were, you know, the engineers and building control were being a bit over the top. I think the piles are something like 2.5 metres. But you know what? Because now we've seen in the summer, with climate change, the winters are wet and the summers are dry. And the soil reacts, the clay soil really reacts to that. And, you know, we get a lot of cracks in the soil in the summer. And the cabins, obviously, if they didn't have those very deep piles, that could be a problem. But it ain't, because we did what we was told. So a fun feature that comes with this cabin is the outdoor bath. It's wood-fired. I'll pop a little picture in so you can see what it's like when you're using it. It's a bit of fun, really. Kind of nice thing to do, but it's right next to the cabin. And it's in the corner there, so you're pretty private. So let's take a look inside Tiny Home Keith. Nice big deck here. I'm thinking, just sharing this with everyone, I'm thinking of putting up in the summer, depending how bookings go and if I've got the funds, some hammock stands, like permanent ones by each cabin. I think that might be quite nice. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments if you think little hammock stands, permanent hammocks would be kind of a nice thing to have. Right, so meanwhile, let's go in to Keith. Sounds funny saying that, doesn't it? Actually, I will go wider, it's better. Again, I'm on my wide angle lens, so that does distort things a little. But it's really the only way until I get myself a proper vlogging camera. I don't think I'm quite there yet. We'll see how things go. So you can see what the monopitch roof looks like on the inside. And the finish on that was simply plaster with some tint in it. It wasn't anything fancy, but it's so effective. I was so pleased with how that came out. There we go. Sofa. Second sofa we're on in here. We tend to say that Keith is really for grown-ups, but sometimes we let children stay, and to our detriment really, because a couple of kids broke their arms on the last sofa. Again, I'm trying to be honest about what it's like running a business like this. You know, we love our guests, but occasionally things do go a bit wrong like that. Here's another fun thing in this cabin. You see these bus seats came from somebody who was doing up a bus, and they took all the seats out, so I snapped them up and had them in my resources store for a few years until they found their permanent home. And then a friend who has a lovely interior design shop in Ventnor, I'll put a link to them because they're great. You might want to look them up. Gave me some fabric sample books, and Michelle kindly made this beautiful curtain. And to me, those fabrics have a sort of a bit of transport, London Underground transport feel to them. You know, so they went really well with the theme of the bus seats. There's more on that theme in a bit, I'll show you. Fun little ornaments I've collected over the years. This chap came from Sri Lanka. And others I've just kept. You know, I used to love all these sort of 50s wall plaques. Got quite a lot. Gorgeous lady there. Little Mexican boy there, I guess he is. Or Portuguese, not sure. Anyway. So, there's a few vintage touches in Keith, like this little coffee table and this little magazine rack. And this wall is made, well, there's two of these walls made from surplus to requirements timber and used up. So we didn't waste anything. And you'll see it's used there as well. I think it looks absolutely great. So another beautiful Charnwood wood-burning stove. I'll put a link to them as well because people always ask me about the stoves. And the beautiful Vlaze heat shield. Forgot what they were called for a minute then. Anyway, heat shield behind, which again, as I've said before, means that you can pop your wood burner closer to the wall. There we go. So I love these, they're almost like lobster pots, these lampshades. And there's a story. Look at this breakfast bar here. Now this was, a friend of ours had this awesome kitchen in a house they bought. But unfortunately, they couldn't make it work with what they wanted to do with the house. So we tried to recycle more of it, but we ended up with just some work surface. We did use the cupboards, actually, in different little projects, but most of it we couldn't. But, you know, at least a bit of it was saved. I mean, such amazing, look at this. Proper 60s, 70s, I'm not exactly sure. I would probably say late 60s. Formica. I think great. Stood the test of time. And so you can see, there is the breakfast bar. You can kind of see what it's like under there. I've got a couple of little vintage stools with it. But this bit in the middle was a fondue station. I mean, great, isn't it? Let's turn around the other way. So 360 view of this room. There we go. Actually, interestingly, I've just bought some net rods, some cafe rods and some sheer voile because we had some feedback from a couple of guests that they said they did feel that they needed some more curtainage on there. Personally, I never do, and I live in a house that's very open to view because I don't care. But obviously some people do, so we do listen when people feedback for different things. So let's go into the kitchen. Let's try my zooming. I do apologise for my terrible camera work. So there's more of this wonderful work surface here. And I thought that that copper complemented it really well. So we've got a copper splashback there and handles. I'll try and put light on. Here we go. It's a bit better, maybe. quite spacious little kitchens. It's hard, it's so hard to film. I think I do need to get a new camera, don't I? Do you think it's a business expense that I can justify? These were old post office crates that I repurposed as shelves. That's the fun thing about a little holiday house, you know, that you're not going to be living in permanently. You don't need tons of storage, although there is ample, which she adds, but you know, you don't need tons of stuff. So you can do fun things like that. And we've got the bungees across there because they stop things falling off. You have to think on your feet, don't you? So anyway, there's lots of drawers and a few old utensils as little decorative items there. And there's the sink. That's what the word I'm looking for. Plenty of cupboard space, and the bins and everything are under the sinks. And then under here, oh, not under here, in here, through here, is the shower room. Let's see if I can, there we go, put some light on the subject there. Lovely big shower in this one. Oh. It is impossible to shoot the bathrooms. And then this way, more of a copper backsplash, backsplash even, get my teeth in. And you can see there's more bus memorabilia. That's an old bus blind from one of the local buses. Don't think they have those anymore. They used to wind them round, you remember? And there's one of our, the sleeker design of the compost toilets. We've got two different designs. We've got those ones and the others. Blog post coming about compost toilets. Stand by your beds. A lovely view out. Now, I've got this. If you remember Tiny Home Hygge Tour, or if you want to have a look at Tiny Home Hygge Tour, you'll remember all the lovely steel welding that Ollie did, Ollie Peters. He made us the L-shaped bed in there, and then he also made us this extraordinary, fantastic ladder, steel ladder that goes up to the bedroom sleeping pod. It's the only time you'll hear me mention the word pod with our business. If anybody comes and calls out Tiny Homes pods, they get a boiled eye from me, I can tell you. Anyway, up, I will show you around the bedroom. Right, so I'm just coming up the last of the steps. A little hanging rail here, goes with that sort of bit of industrially sort of theme, haven't we, with some things. More of this fantastic bus blind. I've hoarded the rest of it. Not quite sure where I'm going to use it, but it'll be somewhere. Another bus seat. More of this effect. You can probably see this concrete. Oh, it's not concrete, but it's a concrete effect, isn't it? But it's just plaster with a bit of tint in it. Worked so well. Beyond our expectations, that was. And here's the bedroom. Unfortunately, I sat on the bed there, so I've messed it up a bit, but anyway. Anyway, you get the idea. Nice big king-size bed here. I'm going to draw the blind down so you can see what that looks like as well. And there's a couple of pictures on the wall here that were taken by Fraser. So here's with the blind, more or less down. Lovely forest scene there. It kind of goes with being right next to Parkhurst Forest. It's kind of hard to get over how fantastic this cabin is with my rubbish filming, but I hope you get a gist of it, and I hope you like it. And I also hope you come and stay.